Hi everyone, in this video we'll talk how to set up an SQL server in R and to how to practice SQL commands in RStudio itself. So the previous video we talked about the package called SQLDF, in which if you open a command called SQLDF in brackets, you can write the SQL query and you can perform the same tasks in RStudio as you would have done in SQL, which is very helpful for people who already have some basic knowledge of SQL and they can apply that knowledge in RStudio itself to accomplish certain tasks. And I believe if you already know SQL a lot, you don't need to learn basic syntaxes in R to perform simple tasks. But if you are using SQL on a daily basis and on a very regular basis, and you are opening SQLDF command every time you want to work on something, it's not the most pretty or beautiful way to work in R. The reason being, the syntaxes are not appropriately colored. You cannot really practice it much, and if you are writing 50 to 100 lines of code in SQL in RStudio, you are better off making a connection with a server. In this case, the server will be your laptop itself. So you'll actually be making a connection between RStudio and your laptop, and you'll write the queries in RStudio to extract information from the database stored in your laptop. And there's a very easy way to do this. There are a couple of packages which you'll have to install. Most of those packages get installed when you install SQLDF, but I'll show a way in which packages you require to create a connection. So with that, let's begin this video. So first we'll be cleaning the environment, and I'll run this chunk. Environment is cleaned. Now I'll import the same dataset from the system that I imported in the video of SQLDF in R. The link is on the top right. Please watch this video if you haven't already. It's a very helpful function if you want to run one or two SQL queries on your already present datasets in R. Moving ahead, I'll first import the datasets. I got the dataset, and if you can see, it's the same sales order dataset. Everything is very much same. Now here's the setup code. Now you need to install two packages. One is called DBI and one is called SQLite. I'll recommend you read about those packages if you're interested in them. I'll just show you how to create a connection. I won't go deep into the theory as to what these packages do, what are they essentially doing. I believe that once you read the commands in this shell itself, you will understand what is happening, and I'll explain you in a very quick manner. So once you have installed the packages DBI and SQLite, you will load the package DBI. You'll not load the package SQLite. There's a reason why. And you'll create a connection. So con is short form for connection. You'll run the package dbconnect from which we have loaded the package DBI, and in it you'll extract a command called SQLite from package SQLite. So if you remember, in the SQLDF video we talked about how to call a function from a package without actually loading it. So we are applying the same concept here. If you want to use only one line of code from only one package, no need to load that package, right? So I want to use the SQLite command from SQLite package, and this is the way I call it from that very package, right? So SQLite, and I named the DB name called memory. That means extracted from the memory of my system. I'm not creating a connection to anything but to myself as well. Now another DB write table. I'll write the sales order data that's in my R as the name sales order in the connection itself, right? So now this connection that I've created will create a DB write table in the database, write a table called sales order. So that's how you have to read it. In a database, write table called sales order. Once this is run, you'll see there will be a connection created. You can see a formal class SQLite connection, and now your connection is set up to work with your queries. So now what you need to do in R Markdown is, you don't need to use SQLDF or anything else. Just if you see in all the the shells wherever I'm writing R, there is a curly bracket with R inside of it, right? Now if you want to write SQL, there's a way to do that. You just need to write SQL connection is equal to con. This means whatever code I write in this cell or in this shell will be an SQL query in the connection is equal to con. That means the connection that I have already coded above, right? So whatever is written here will go to that connection and give me that extracted dataset. So now I want to do select star from sales order limit 5, means I want all the information from the table sales order, only the first 5 rows. I'll run this dataset, and boom, you can see the output here itself, right? Now if I want to do the same operation, I want to see the operation of like you doing the distinct items. in the sales order data set, like how many items are actually there. I'll do select distinct item from sales order. If you see, there is a clear syntax that you can differentiate from, like which are the SQL hot words and which are your column names, right? So it's become very, very easy when you're working with a lot of SQL in R. Running this command, I can say there are pencil, binders, pen, desk, and pen set. These 5 items are there in my sales order data set, right? So this becomes very, very easy to explain, and it's very, very intuitive as well for people to work. Now, in SQLDF video, we talked about how to extract the table only for rep called Jones, and we used SQLDF, and in brackets we wrote a query which was fully green, right? But I can do the very same thing here in a proper syntax where I can see, there is a proper color coding being followed. I can track what are SQL hot words, what's the syntax, and how am I extracting it. Now, a next level comes in here. The next level is, what if I want to save the output in a dataset in R and perform other functions later on ahead? Is there a way to do that? Yes, but you cannot write anything in an SQL query. All you have to do, the magic here happens in the cell, in the curly brackets, just before you start the cell. Just like you write SQL connection is equal to con, there only you have to write output.var, that means output variable is equal to sales underscore Jones. That means whatever output you will get from this query will be stored in a variable called sales underscore Jones. So if I run this command, if I run this query, you'll get a dataset called sales underscore Jones with only sales for rep called Jones. So this is a very, very useful connection if you like to use SQL a lot and you are a SQL power user. I think this is something you'll really, really enjoy in RStudio. And if you don't know much SQL, you will have to practice. I think this is a very, very nice way of downloading any dataset from online, any free dataset from Kaggle, and then just practicing your SQL in RStudio itself to become more proficient at it. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers.